beep, beep, honk, honk. The town was waking up. In Constructionville, the alarm clocks didn't ring. They honked.
It was a beautiful, busy morning where the roads were made of fresh asphalt. It was a beautiful, busy morning where the roads were made of fresh asphalt.
And the buildings touched the fluffy white clouds.
Down at the main dig site, the mud was perfect.
It wasn't too dry, and it wasn't too soupy. It was just right. Thick, squishy, and brown.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch until the end.
Vroom, vroom. Diggy the excavator stretched his long hydraulic arm. Diggy was bright yellow, the color of a lemon drop. And he had the biggest, toothiest metal smile in town.
His bucket was shiny and ready for action.
Good morning, world! Diggy shouted, spinning his cabin around in a joyful circle. I feel like digging a hole to the other side of the planet today!
Next to him sat Dumper the dump truck. Dumper was a bright cherry red.
He was strong, sturdy, and usually a little bit sleepy in the mornings.
He had 4 giant, knobby tires that looked like chocolate donuts.
Easy there, Diggy, Dumper rumbled, his engine making a deep chugga-chugga-chugga sound. Save some fuel. We have a big pile of rocks to move before lunch. Rocks are boring today, Dumper.
He scooped up a pile of dirt and tossed it into the air.
Splat! It landed right on Dumper's hood. Hey! Dumper honked, turning on his windshield wipers. Swish, swish! Swish, swish! Watch the paint job. I just got waxed. Diggy giggled, his tracks wiggling in the dirt. Sorry, I'm just so excited. Do you know what today is? Dumper rolled his eyes, or rather, he flashed his headlights. Tuesday? Tire checking day? The day we moved the gravel pile from the left side to the right side? No! Diggy swung his bucket wildly. It's Mayor Dozer's birthday! And you know what birthdays need, don't you? Dumper sighed, his suspension squeaking under the weight of his worry. Please don't say a parade. I hate parades. Confetti gets stuck in my radiator.
Not a parade, Diggy whispered dramatically.
Leaning in closer until his metal nose almost touched Dumper's grill. A cake! A giant construction-sized cake! Dumper reversed a few inches. Beep, beep, beep. A cake? Diggy, look at us! We are heavy machinery! I weigh 10 tons. You have a scoop with teeth. We don't bake, we break! Pish posh, Diggy said, revving his engine enthusiastically. Baking is just like construction, Dumper. Think about it.
Mixing cement is like mixing batter.
Smoothing asphalt is like frosting a cake. It's exactly the same, except tastier.
Diggy zoomed over to a flat patch of concrete.
He had found an old, tattled billboard that showed a picture of a mega mountain chocolate cake. We are going to bake this, Diggy declared, for Mayor Dozer. It will be the biggest, most delicious cake in history.
Dumper looked at the picture. It did look good. But he looked at his own giant, muddy tires.
We don't have a bowl, Diggy. We don't have a spoon. We don't even have an oven. Detays. We have the mixer. Just then, Mixie the cement mixer rolled by, humming a tune. Mixie is busy, Dumper pointed out.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch until the end.
Besides, we can use the old spare parts shed as a bowl. It's huge! And we can use the solar heat lamp to bake it. Come on, Dumper. Be a pal. Imagine the look on the mayor's face when he sees a cake the size of a garage. Dumper felt his engine warm up. He was a loyal friend, and Diggy did look incredibly happy. Okay, Dumper grumbled. But if I get flour in my air filter, I'm gonna be very grumpy.
Yay! Operation Catastrophe.
Operation Cake Bake is a go! Let's get the ingredients.
They needed a lot of ingredients. They drove to the bulk barn warehouse. We need flour, Diggy read from a giant piece of paper he had scribbled on with grease. 500 bags. 500? That's a heavy load. And sugar.
And eggs. And chocolate.
Load up, Dumper. Put it all in your bed.
Dumper lowered his suspension as the forklift dropped pallet after pallet of flour and sugar into his back.
I think I'm going to sneeze, Dumper said, his headlights twitching.
A giant cloud of flour exploded from his truck bed, covering a passing police car in white powder.
Oops, Diggy whispered. Let's go before we get a ticket.
Back at the construction site, Diggy had prepared the bowl. It was actually a clean, empty swimming pool that they hadn't filled with water yet.
Okay, Dumper. Diggy commanded like a general. Dump the dry ingredients. Now.
Dumper backed up to the edge of the pool. Beep, beep, beep. He engaged his hydraulic lift. His bed began to rise.
Thousands of pounds of flour and sugar cascaded into the pool.
It looked like an avalanche. A massive white cloud mushroomed up into the sky. Diggy sputtered, waving his bucket. I can't see! Where are you? I'm over here! Dumper yelled from inside the white fog. I look like a ghost truck.
When the dust settled, the pool was half full of white powder.
Now for the eggs.
They didn't have normal eggs. They had bought ostrich eggs because they were bigger. Hundreds of them.
How do we crack them? Dumper asked. Watch this, Diggy shouted. The bucket smash.
Diggy raised his heavy metal bucket high into the air. He aimed for the crates of eggs sitting on the edge of the pool.
Clang!
Squish! Whoops!
He had smashed the eggs, all right. But he also smashed the crates, the cardboard, and a little bit of the concrete sidewalk.
A gooey mess of yellow yolks, clear slime, and crunchy shells slid into the pool.
Extra calcium. Now add the milk. Dumper hooked up a fire hose to a tanker truck full of milk. The milk blasted into the pool like a geyser, spraying milk all over Diggy's windshield.
It's mixing time, Diggy yelled. I'll be the spoon.
Diggy drove right into the shallow end of the pool. His track squished into the flour and milk. Squelch, slorp, gloopy gloop. He began to spin his cabin around and around. He swung his bucket through the goo. It's getting thick. Diggy grunted, his engine straining. The batter was heavy. It was like glue. Diggy, be careful! You're going too fast! I can't! He was like a yellow top in a sea of pancake mix.
Suddenly, a giant bubble of batter formed right in front of an East Asian male cartoon character.
Bloop, bloop. P.O.P. The bubble burst, launching a glob of sticky dough the size of a beach ball straight at Dumper. Smack! It hit Dumper right in the grill. He looked like he had a giant creamy beard. Dumper mumbled, licking his bumper. Needs more chocolate.
Diggy tossed in 50 bags of cocoa powder. Now the pool looked like a swamp of mud, but it smelled like a candy factory.
This was the tricky part. You can't put a swimming pool in an oven. So, Diggy had an idea that was unique.
We will use the road heaters.
They dragged over 10 massive industrial heaters, usually used to melt asphalt. They lined them up around the pool and turned them all to maximum heat.
Hum, buzz, hiss. The heaters glowed bright orange.
Now we wait, Diggy said, tapping his tracks impatiently.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch until the end. 5 minutes passed. Nothing happened. 10 minutes passed. The batter bubbled lazily. Blip.
It's already at max. Wait, there's a button here called volcano mode. Should I press it? Yes! We need cake now!
Dumper pressed the red button.
Roar. The heaters blasted intense heat. The air shimmered. The birds flew away. Suddenly, the batter in the pool began to rise. And rise. And rise.
It's working! Diggy clapped his bucket claws.
But it didn't stop working. The cake rose past the edge of the pool.
It rose past the top of the heaters. It started to dome up like a brown mountain. Diggy! Dumper reversed nervously. It's getting very big. It's majestic.
Gurgle. Rumble. The ground shook. The cake was expanding too fast. It was reacting with the concrete.
She's gonna blow! Dumper honked! Run for cover!
K.A. boom. But a soft, squishy kind of kaboom. The giant chocolate cake exploded outward. It was a tsunami of sponge cake, a landslide of chocolate.
Whee! Diggy shouted as a wave of warm cake lifted him off the ground. He surfed on top of the crumbs.
Help! Dumper cried. The cake hit him, burying his tires in warm, fluffy sweetness.
The cake flowed out of the construction site. It oozed over the fence. It flowed onto Main Street.
Diggy slid down the side of the cake mountain, spinning out of control. Whoosh! Slide! He crashed into a stack of orange traffic cones. Now he looked like a chocolate monster with orange horns.
The whole construction site was silent, except for the sound of steaming cake settling. Sizzle. Hiss.
Diggy looked around. The swimming pool was empty. The heaters were knocked over. Dumper was just a red roof sticking out of a hill of chocolate. We ruined it. We made a disaster, not a dessert.
The mayor is gonna be so mad. He's gonna fire us. We'll be sent to the scrapyard of shame.
Dumper revved his engine to shake off some crumbs. He looked at the giant mess. Then he took a bite of a piece of cake stuck to his side mirror.
Hey, Dumper chewed thoughtfully. This is actually really crunchy.
That's the eggshells, Diggy sniffled.
But the chocolate part? Dumper said.
It's delicious.
Diggy, we didn't just bake a cake. We paved the street with cake. Suddenly, they heard sirens. It's the mayor! Diggy panicked! Hide me in the frosting! Mayor Dozer, a stern-looking bulldozer with a monocle, rolled onto the site. He stopped. He stared. His jaw dropped. He looked at the swimming pool. He looked at the brown, fluffy road. He looked at Diggy and Dumper, who looked like two chocolate-dipped toys. What, began the mayor, is the meaning of this? Diggy drove forward, shaking.
Happy birthday, Mayor Dozer!
We tried to bake you a cake, but we over-engineered it.
The mayor drove up to a large chunk of cake lying on the sidewalk. He lowered his blade and took a tiny scoop. He tasted it.
The mayor's stern face twitched. Then he smiled. A big, oily smile.
It's magnificent! I have never seen a cake big enough for the whole town before.
Diggy's headlights popped open wide. You're not mad?
Mad? The mayor laughed. I'm hungry. But, he added, looking at the sticky mess on Diggy's tracks, you two are cleaning this up afterwards. A win.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch until the end.
Diggy and Dumper looked at each other and revved their engines. Deal! They shouted together. For the rest of the afternoon, every truck in Constructionville came to the site. The cranes lifted giant chunks of cake to the smaller cars. The steamrollers flattened out the crumbs. It was the best party ever.
As the sun went down, Diggy and Dumper sat side by side, washing off under a giant hose. The water ran brown with chocolate.
You know, Diggy, that was fun. It was. Diggy agreed. So, Dumper. Yeah, Diggy? Next week is the fire truck's anniversary. Dumper froze. I was thinking, giant pizza? Dumper put his truck in reverse and backed away quickly. N-O-E, beep beep. See you tomorrow, Diggy. Diggy laughed, his engine purring happily. Vroom! It was good to be an excavator, especially one with a full tummy.